Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. Joined by my awesome co-host tonight, Mr. Daniel J. Appreciate you jumping in with the abs gear rocking. That's pretty awesome. We're going to do a little kind of presentation tonight and just kind of hang out. We have David Englehart, Mr. E, up in the house. Awesome, Mr. E. That's pretty
What's up,
cool.
David?
So yeah, what we're gonna do tonight? King James he's sitting on a plane right now, and it was actually funny. I had to scramble because he was supposed to build the show for me, and then all I had to do was just roll it. And about 4 o'clock, I went up to my office and checked, and it still wasn't in there. So I had to build the show and get the link for Daniel. So I appreciate you coming on with me, Daniel. It's pretty awesome. See, that kind of works out a little better there. Yeah, so I'm kind of new at running the show, but tonight we're just gonna kind of discuss some of the changes of the 2029. It's actually a reaction show tonight because Daniel doesn't know anything about the proposed 2029. So basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna actually restructure the whole National Electric Code, and they're gonna change it to 40 chapters, and they're gonna move stuff all over the place, and it's just gonna be a big mess. So we're gonna kind of just talk about it, kind of see what your reaction is, and if you think kind of some of this stuff's necessary. And like I say, I could actually let me see. Where is that one? James he usually runs most of the stuff. Let me see, we got that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Is it in there? Yeah, I'm not sure that he has an intro, outro. What does he have? What is this one? That's the show. Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually put it in there. Did he put? Yeah, I'm not sure if I have all the audio tracks, so I can't play everything, the video clips. But he usually leaves me the myth of the week and stuff like that, so I can do that. But like I say, it's cool. I appreciate you coming in, Daniel. And maybe you could introduce a little bit of yourself so everyone kind of knows who you are, and you're one of my awesome
Oh yeah,
success
um,
stories.
yeah. My name's Dan or Daniel. I worked with Bill years ago in oil and gas. I was his apprentice. I'm a journeyman now in Colorado. 3rd year as a journeyman, 8 years in the trade, and really getting into the code book is something I need to do a little more. Bill's a wealth of knowledge. Him and James when it comes to code knowledge, and that's why I come on the show every night, try to increase my code knowledge and
Yeah.
learn a little more.
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome that we get feedback from you, kind of making fun of the Dallas Stars and making fun of the Dallas Cowboys and stuff, just to kind of keep King James on his toes. You know what I mean? We just don't want him to get comfortable, So me and Daniel are Colorado boys, Colorado Avalanche, Broncos fans. We go to a lot of games. We've been to Rockies game this year, which is decent. I mean, they won and they looked all right, so that was pretty fun.
And if you
Um,
noticed, I'm the Willie Quiz Champ. That's
he
my
is.
that's
You
my
are the.
handle.
You are. Yeah, he actually puts it on his Facebook now, but he is I think you are the reigning champ, and I think we even gave King James a chance at the tiebreaker, and he still got it wrong. So that's pretty awesome. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into NFPA link. So I brought NFPA link over here, and I'm gonna kind of share the screen. We're gonna check it out and kind of see what we come up with. Just kind of looking at it, going through it. So this is actually in the 2026 NEC. This is actually informative Annex L. So I'm gonna try to. Let me see if I can just put that as the full screen. I was gonna try to keep us on there, but let me see if I could just full screen that baby. Yeah, that's a little better. Here we start out. We have the. I'm trying to get over there. Let's see that if I can. I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm kind of new with the screen share. I'm just trying to see where is it? Share screen.
Did you have any
Yeah,
input into this proposed organization of the 2029 NEC bill?
I actually thought about it, and sorry, I'm all screwing it up here, but I actually thought about it, and David's saying that there's 19 chapters. I can't remember. I wanted to say like 40 with like including all the like tables and annexes and everything, but it was a lot. It's a lot different. I really, honestly, Daniel, it was really funny. I thought about just going and deleting the whole entire thing because, like, when you do like a proposal, they give you the option to just basically erase everything. So I could just go down and just put delete, 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 and when it's all said and done, it'll just be like a blank page, you know. And I really thought about doing that, and then putting my proposal to just like not even do it. But I did that to 210.8f, and there was a few. So I think altogether I had like about six that I submitted for the 2029. I did not comment on this one. I did not put anything in. I just basically figured if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. If they don't, then they're not, or whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
I figured. Let me see. I'm trying to. So share screen should be over there. Share screen. Got NFPA link up over here. Come over here. Let's see if it lets me go in there. All right, so share. Okay, here we go. So this is the proposed change. So this is the informative annex L, and it's just a reorganization of for the 2029 NEC. And so you can see it comes in and it shows chapter one, and it shows where all those articles were like in 2023, 2026, and then where they're going to end up in 2029. So there's a lot of them that are really not going to change, like general requirements. That's what we're looking at as like chapter 3 wiring methods. So they're chapter 3. Now all of a sudden in 2029 they're going to be chapter 2. So that's a little weird. You have like branch circuits, feeders. So branch circuits right now is currently in 210. So that just stays the same. So that's not even going to be a change. One of the ones I noticed too, like grounding and bonding is 250. It'll still be in 250.
Yeah.
Where it gets really weird is when you start getting into like wiring, chapter 3 wiring methods for over 1,000 volts. That starts getting a little wonky. Like goes all the way over to all these different sections, like branch over 1,000 volts branch circuits, like gonna be all the way over in like 310. So that stuff's gonna kind of move a lot. Then you have like chapter 4. There's some different stuff that like in 2026 moved to from 300 to 729 back to
720 to 400.
yeah. So it's just in the 2029 it's gonna be over at 400, and that's limited energy right now. Right now, the way the code is set up, you're gonna have limited energy, which a lot of people refer to as low voltage. So That's gonna be like your class two, class three wiring. That's all considered like limited energy, coax cable. That's all limited energy. And then you have over 1,000 volts, which is now basically considered high voltage. And then you have everything else. So basically, what me and Daniel deal with on a daily is everything else. We don't deal with too much limited energy and stuff. So it just kind of this just brings you through kind of how it's gonna be broken down. And to me, honestly, this is where it starts getting like really wonky when you have power production and energy storage systems. It like changes a lot, and you start seeing that you have chapter six, enclosures and wiring support structures. So that would have been over in 312 and 314, and now all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's over in 600 and
Yeah.
602. So some of that
Yeah.
stuff is gonna be hard for like guys like me and Daniel, who's been, especially Daniel not really being in the code. Then all of a sudden you're like, what? Like this is gonna be like a foreign language.
Yeah. Since
Uh,
I took my journeyman test 3 years ago, like all that stuff, I was used to looking for in like 300. And like if I took it now, I'd really have to dig in there and study
Yeah,
it.
and so you could see just something as simple as like MC cable, type MC. It's over in 330 here. Now all of a sudden it's in 708.
Yeah,
You know,
that's crazy, man. That's
and so we're me and King James. We're still not sure that they're gonna make this kind of change and that they're gonna do this, but it's just kind of interesting to kind of go through and look at potentially how much this is gonna change. David's saying that there's like 19 chapters, and so as we're going through, you can see chapter 8, raceways and conduit tubing. And
well, they're
so,
moving all that to 800. That's yeah, that's
yeah, and so, it's just, to me, it kind of gets a little wonky. And so that's kind of why I wanted to kind of get your reaction on this, because my reaction was, why? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to spread it out so far,
yeah.
To me, I guess they're making it so that there's a lot of room for expansion in the future. And I don't know. To me, honestly, it's like, okay. I mean, do we really need this much room? Like, do we really need like 5 chapters difference?
Well,
You
your
know,
your stipulation on 210.8F pushed everything back, though.
I guess, like to me, honestly, like the way I did it, I really thought it was really good and it made a lot of sense. To just basically delete 210.8F, and then if you need anything else, special equipment, then you can just put specific equipment in 210.8D. There's no reason to have 210.8F. It's just a boat anchor code reference at this point. So that's part of the reason why. And then actually submitted for a general exception for 210.8A that says if anything has internal GFCI built in, then you don't need to have an additional device, because currently there is no exception in there. But you can see, it keeps going to like power systems. We don't really deal too much with some of that stuff. Daniel, like a lot of this would be like really heavy gear. We have low voltage suspended ceiling power. Like I can't remember the last time I dealt with one of those. Like there's not been too many. We have temporary and open wiring here, and this one was kind of got me because over here it's in chapter 5 in the 2023 and 2026. Now all of a sudden it's in 1100. So to me, when they start going into the thousands like that, then you're like, wait a minute, you know. But we have, devices, distribution equipment. So you'll notice here we have switches, which is 404. Now that's going to be over in 1200. So that one, like 404, they kind of did some arrangement initially to try to change this and get it to kind of fold in there. They had, switchboards, switchgear, panel boards. I always thought, oh man, 408, 408. Oh, nope, 1294.
Wow. How many pages is the code book this are coming up for 2029?
I don't know that they really even know that right now. It's going to be probably close to the same amount of pages as the 2026. They're just moving it to all different areas. Yeah. And so there's going to be a lot more gaps between the sections. Like they're not going to go like 404, 406, 408. They're going to go, 1209, and just all these, like, there's not going to be as close together gaps between them, So I think they're doing that on purpose to try to get room so that if they do add stuff, then they have plenty of room to add it. I just don't really see why it's necessary, because it's like we're not going to add like this much stuff to our code. It's pretty much, if you ask me, pretty much set in stone. So, yeah, like I say, like how many more luminaires and lamp holders are we gonna? So we have 410 in 2023, 410 in 2026. Now we have over here it's 1300. So to me, that's gonna be kind of wonky. I don't think it matters a real lot. Like when you really think about like the nuts and bolts behind it, I think we'll still be able to find, like, now all of a sudden I'll just go, all right, go to 1300 for. Like, I love 410. Like, there's so many things in 410 that we argue all the time, and I always know to go right there. So now I'm just going to have to be like, okay, now go to 1300. But this is, like, just kind of showing you the layout, and, here's motors. So motors is currently 430 in the 2023, 2026, and now all of a sudden here it's over 1400. Chapter 14. So, it's going to be interesting. Electric heating equipment right now is 424. It's going to move to 1500, chapter 15. So, these titles will stay pretty well the same. So there's not a whole lot of real difference. This gets kind of interesting with chapter 16, other equipment. And then that's when they go into like appliances, which appliances currently at 422. It's changing. excuse me. So that stuff's kind of changing a little. So, it's going to be interesting. I get a little drink there. Oof. I got a little cough going. All right, but when you sit there and look at some of this, it's not going to really matter that much, So hazardous location, chapter 18. So this is a lot of stuff that me and Daniel's dealt with in the past when we're out there in gas and oil. And this is, I think, part of why I think this could be a dangerous move to do, especially for this, because Daniel knows firsthand that's the number one thing nobody knows, the hazardous code out there. Mm-hmm. And I remember you were getting a lot frustrated when some of those guys are like, you have to do this, and you're like, why? And they're like, I don't know, you just have to do it.
Yeah, it's like, you're dealing with seal offs and all kinds of stuff out there. Your rigid pipe has to be, threaded up the minimum amount. And I mean, I see guys just like, oh, it don't matter where that seal off goes. Or, as long as the pipe's inside that fitting, well, you got to screw it in there, bud. A little bit more.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of where I think maybe David I was thinking that we get all the way to chapter 30, and then that's where your tables are at and stuff. So this is like the end of um, the code book, the way the 2029 they have, um, you know, they they basically just move a lot of stuff around. Like you look at life safety emergency systems, they were in 700 before. Now they're going to be in chapter 21. So I mean, I guess okay, but it just seems weird to me, like why they're doing this. You know, like you have all these occupancies, you have healthcare facilities. That's going to be chapter 19, and this might not be the worst thing to just have all these like special occupancies like all in one chapter, and then they just give like the references for all these
Yeah.
different chapter 19s. That actually might not be too bad. You have agricultural buildings, which is 547. That's going to be 19, 19, 16, or you know. So you just have like all these different things. I mean, I don't hate it, but at the same time, it's like I still just kind of wonder. Um, let's see. David says that that was a Google search, NFPA link. Okay, okay. So yeah, 22 chapters, then jumping from 30 to yeah, that's what I thought. And so so yeah, David, it's gonna be interesting, and there's some information on NFPA with the general details that I can't share here. Okay, yeah, and I agree, David. It's gonna be interesting to see. Do you remember that David's our deathmatch champion, Daniel? Do you remember
Oh yeah,
that?
I think yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. That David, congratulations again. He got King James's $1,000, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it just to me it was just kind of interesting. I just kind of wanted to get your take and just kind of hang out with you a little bit, Daniel. Just kind of talk and
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that I knew it was gonna be kind of a little bit of a short show and just kind of maybe
Yeah,
talk about
that's fine. I
yeah.
can't hang around too much longer, about 20 minutes or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Like I say, I usually make my podcast around half an hour anyway. So I appreciate you coming on and just, hanging out, just talking about the code and just kind of getting a little bit of your reaction of what is kind of coming down the pike. And
Well, I noticed they're moving like a circus carnival and that kind of wiring to 19. That comes. I have to use that a lot in some of these projects I'm on. These circus shows I'm on.
oh
It's,
yeah, I forgot to put the audio in, so I didn't get your clown music this week, but like I say, it was really rough. I was trying to put everything together like really short notice, and like I say, it got me pretty good at like getting the show ready and figuring out how to get everything fired up. But like, what's your overall thoughts on? Do you feel like this is kind of necessary? Do you think it's like unnecessary? I mean, what?
it's I I can't really say because I don't know who's inputting this. Probably people a lot more knowledgeable with the code than I am, but it's going to make it navigating it how I'm used to a little bit more challenging. I'm gonna you know the next few years. We got 2026 coming up, but a few years after that, getting used to a lot of this stuff being pushed to the back of, or what looks like going to be the back of the code book.
True.
And I'm used to looking for it in, say, section 500, and now it's pushed all the way back to 1800, which is
Yeah.
kind of an odd number. I'm just used to going up to like 1,000 or 1,200, but now it's
Yeah, it's to me it's gonna be interesting. Like I say, um, to me, honestly, I don't know that it's really necessary. They basically said that the format has been the same since the 1800s, you know, and to me, I kind of maybe think that's a good thing. And what the danger is kind of what I'm talking about. Like if people already are not getting 500, and then all of a sudden you move it to 1800, I
Yeah,
don't know. I mean, just to me, that's just a little wonky, you know. But um,
yeah.
yeah, and David's right, you know, and it has been decades, you know, since they, you know,
Um, yeah, David, when I took my test 3 years ago, I had a few hazardous location questions. It included even one about gas station, grounding and bonding gas pumps, I believe it was. So yeah, I believe there was about five hazardous location questions on my test.
wow, yeah, and yeah, like it's pretty interesting. You'd probably have to like get with King James as far as like that history lesson. We've actually, when we do like the myths and stuff, we've actually researched stuff. And I know you find this interesting, Daniel. You followed a lot of our myths, and one of them, and we ran into this before, where they're like, "Sorry, we can't let you run cable because this building's not dried in yet." And then when you go look at the definition of dry location, and see, that's the one thing I kind of wanted to show you too, Daniel, is like I can go. Let's see, how do I get back over there? So like, I'm trying to see how I go back to my screen share, but I think you go. No, you go there. Is it there? Let me see. Yeah, I've just messed it up. But anyway, so that's the cool part about Link is you can just navigate, like you can just search in there, like oh I'm looking at dry location, and it'll take you boom right there to definitions dry location, you know. So that's the nice part about Link, and let's see, David says he thinks the difference between the journeyman and the masters is a single phase and three phase back in the day. Okay. All right. So like 97. Wow. Yeah, like I was a second year apprentice in 97. So that gives you any indication how long I've been at the game. But
Yeah, Bill was a second year apprentice, and he was already teaching like Mike Holt was back in the day.
dude, how did you know? Um, that was when I got my teaching license. But yeah, and what's crazy is the thing that got me into like kind of studying the code and stuff, and trying to like teach guys like Daniel. Like I always try to teach Daniel just like the easy math, the easy ways, like easy ways to do stuff, and like I'll still never forget you talking to me about they just had you go start running some exit signs, and you didn't even really know how to bend pipe or really do much, and like all of a sudden they were like all looking at your pipe run like somebody needs to fix that, you know, and you're just like okay, I guess something's wrong with it, you know. But that was pretty funny. Like I think you had like one of the most unique first year experiences when it comes to just getting thrown to the wolves and just getting thrown in, and like you know they treated you just like you knew everything and you just didn't say anything and just like you know rolled with the punches and just
Oh,
kind of
dude,
went
it
with it.
was it was out there at that Smuckers project. It was like Thunderdome out there, man. Like you just had to get in there and do what you can, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like when I saw the work that you guys did out there, it was crazy because they had to run like we had to rough like all the stuff that. So what they had was they had this walk-on ceiling that had to go in, and so they had to have everything roughed in the walk-on ceiling before they put the ceiling in. And so you guys up there with snorkel lip booms all running all that stuff, and it was like the layout was not good at all. Like there was not any good layout out there at all. There was some runs that were 20 foot off. You know, like from where they're supposed to be, they were 20 foot over there. You know, so
Yeah.
like I couldn't believe it. But I mean, I just made do. Like some of them, there was complete entire runs I just abandoned, and I just
I thought we talked about this.
oh, there you go. Yeah, like how many 1 inch conduits can fit in an 18 by 18 side by side? You know, it's not 20. Um, but like that's interesting, and the layout is a lot. And so yeah, dude. Yeah, David says it is a pleasure to put a face to the name Daniel. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always saying, "Sup, dudes?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Um,
me.
yeah. But yeah, we just went to the Kings game, the first game for the Avalanche. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Went to like I think it was like this maybe 2 days after opening day. Like that was that Sunday, like
Yeah.
opening. It
Yeah,
was
it
like
was
on
their
Friday.
third game and they
Yeah.
won. I think
So
we're having good luck this year because we went to the Avs game, they won. We went to the Rockies game, Rockies won.
yeah,
You
we
know,
got some good luck going. I might be trying to get round two, but we'll see. Like, if they're as cheap as like I was just surprised how much they were because the ones I was looking at they were like even cheaper than regular season.
yeah,
So if I could get
I'll
yeah
take a look too, and I might swoop some up
yeah,
for us.
well, so we'll take a look at it. But it's really awesome to just kind of hang out, like talk a little bit of code with you, Daniel, and yeah, get you introduced to David Englehart. We've had David Englehart as a guest on here before, and
Good to meet
so
you, David.
yeah, so it's pretty cool to just have this whole network of people, and like I say, we'll fire it up probably next week. I'll let you get bouncing, bro, and
Okay.
like I say, we'll just get out of here a little early tonight. And thanks for
Make every
coming and
day an
hanging
easy
out,
day.
man. Yeah, as always, make every day an easy day. You got it, bro.
Yeah.
So we'll see you,
All right.
bro.
All right, man. Take care.
Later.
Good night.